sun, you can feel the heat when the pressures rise, building up inside, trying to break it down, but you come back stronger, ready to fight, can't wait any longer, it's our time, it's like a force of nature, no stopping now, it's the stars to make it, stronger than that, it's like a force of nature, no stopping now, it's the stars to make it, stronger than that, stronger than that.
Ethan Burrell from big spin by the 50-60s. It won't be enough. Chris Rucker on the back of Johnny Johns, who covered the spot. Johnny, it's going to Victor Lane at the corner scores the win. The home place beer competing by
It's like a force of nature, no stopping now, it's the stars to make it, stronger than that, it's like a force of nature, no stopping now, it's the stars to make it, stronger than that, stronger than that.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elite Racing League. Tonight, it's the 2022 B season of the JoinAPS.com Cup Series for round number 7 for the North Wilkesboro 200 here this evening. This is going to be a blast to cover. We just got done with the Roval where RC Enerson dominated that race. But tonight, we go old school to the 87 North Wilkesboro track where drivers are going to have a tall task to see can they survive here at the short track. You got myself, Sam Dyer. We got that of David Huckleberry going to be our producer tonight and special announcer. We've been happy to announce Alex Ned is joining us in the booth. Alex, it's good to have you back.
It is great to be back. I have missed you guys. I know you guys have been haunted, or what did you guys say earlier? You've blessed the series with my name, or with my face on it. Yes, there it is. So I'm sorry you've had to see that all season long, but I am back. And it's good to be back, Sam, once again.
Oh, it's so awesome to have you back, Alex. We've been missing you. We've been missing your voice, and we have a fantastic race to have you back for as we have our starting grid here this evening. Taking the top of the board, it's going to be that of Tyler Fody, with Kwame Scott going to be in second place. The rookie sensation of Latham Joyner going to be in third. David Tucker, as well as many others, as we'll cycle through. 42 drivers going to be in this field. We've got some hot contenders, but 16th place we see on the board, the fastest driver during practice. It's Robert Hill Jr. that I'm curious on how fast the two can be, but there's also some other contenders that have looked quick as well. Ryan Gavel, he'll be starting back in that 24th position, but as we look deeper in the field, there's still a lot of fast drivers that didn't have the qualifying runs that they wanted, but of note, in 36th place, want to talk about the 81 for a quick second. That of Alexander Gray will be doing a start in park. He's not feeling well, so he will not be able to finish out this race. But Alex, 42 drivers at a track that most likely would be better if we only had that at 25 drivers.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed that we will have 42 drivers here tonight. As we are quickly approaching, I think we have to get the second pace lap because, heck, the field barely itself, it got all caught up. So yes, we will have another pace lap. But like you, I'm excited. I know this track is coming back in real life next year for the All-Star race. So it's good to see us return back to our roots, really.
Yeah, this track, I mean, the last time it was ran was for the Cup Series, at least for NASCAR, was back in 1996, and just being announced is for the All-Star race of 2023, and I think that's the best place that we could be seeing NASCAR for an All-Star race. After kind of some poor runs at Texas, it's good to switch things up. And talking about switching things up, let's get done with pacing. We're underway. Green here for the North Wilkesboro 200.
Oh, wow. Tyler 40 got a big jump already. That's something that we'll be keeping an eye on as the leaders fend for themselves now side by side for that second place. That 3-car Joyner taking a look underneath Scott in the 95.
And going to be seeing that Kwame Scott falling back to third, but he's going to be trying to work this outside lane with this track so unique. It's actually built on the side of a hill with elevations going down into turn 1, up into turn 3. All these factors allowing drivers to get on the brakes a little bit harder in some sections and a little bit off in others. But up front, it's still Tyler Fody. But watch out for the battle for fourth. It's David Tooker going to be on that, pressured by that of the 98 of Blankley, as well as Tate Lytle.
Yes, Tate, one of those guys who you are the defending champion. You cannot count him out. Doing a great run so far, currently in the 7th position.
And I want to give note for Tate Lytle, Alex, he is so fast here. In the past, last time that the Elite Racing League ran at this racetrack was back in 2020 for both their A and B season. And it was Tate Lytle that had the most laps led for both of those races. He's hoping to find himself up front, but a completely different car than back then. They were running the Gen 6 cars. Now we're in the Gen 7. We're actually not running 5 gears since the short track. We're down to just 4 gears for this race.
Yeah, they will not even hit that gear ratio up to the 5th position. We see a brand new second place guy, really, the Joyner, who I am not familiar with, but apparently has been setting the world on fire.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job as a rookie. He's a Rookie of the Year contender at this current moment, kind of dominating the rest of that. And if you want to know where our rookies are, they're the drivers in white on our ticker, as well as Kwame Scott has been looking good. But Kwame Scott's been on the back foot. He's been caught up in a lot of wrecks at 95, so for some luck, as Joyner, with his consistent runs, finds himself tied with 12th in points. And our top 14 are going to be making it to the playoffs here. We're only in race number 7. Still a handful of races to go in this regular season. But certainly for that of Joyner, he's hoping to stay up front and get these consistent points.
Oh, yes. It is never too early to be thinking about points as you take a look at the championship standings on the front of your screen. Tyler Foley, obviously, your leader currently right now is that 95, got very loose up underneath the 3-car, and he's going to have to fend off that 3rd position from David Tooker in the 19, who's taking a look on the outside.
David Tooker as well has performed here at North Wilkesboro quite well previously. He's trying to get himself another top 5 finish if possible. This 19 machine has ran very well at short tracks in past here for the Elite Racing League. So he's hoping to find a little bit more speed, but let's slow it down as our first yellow of the day comes out.
Well, you had mentioned there over or under, we were talking amongst ourselves, caution flags and how many we were expected to see. We kind of had a long green flag run, but I do say so myself, but it looks like Harrison Talon's going to find the outside wall, the inside wall.
Oh.
Yes, outside. That was weird. Middle of the straightaway.
And this track, it's so easy to get the rear end and just a loss of balance really on this car. If you get into the throttle too soon on the exit of the corner, it looked like there for Harrison Talon. He was fighting the steering wheel from the exit of 4 and even into the entry of 1. These straightaways are very short. And in a blink of an eye, the 23 finding themselves in trouble, as well as getting some other drivers collected in that mess. And it's going to be Talon going to be finding himself cause of this issue and given a tally. So he's got to be careful not to grab any more throughout this race.
Yeah, that's very true. We forgot about the tally system. Kind of keeps you honest not to behave like a maniac on the track. If you get into an innocent, you're involved in a skirmish, just like what we saw with Harrison there early. It could put a whole different ballgame for you as far as strategy to make sure you're not the cause of another one. Because after that second one, that's when you need to worry.
Yeah, don't want to get too many of those for sure. And as we're under pacing, good to see where some of these drivers are running. Here's Andrew Rucker back in 6th place. And Andrew Rucker was looking through the stats. Wild thing for the night, for that of the 64, still searching for their first top 10 finish this season. And tonight could be the night, running up front here in 6th, but still a lot of racing to go. We got 200 laps in total. And Alex, we know anything and everything could happen during these races.
I don't know why you would even say it's only. I mean, these people are definitely, it's a long race. And so to even think, as we see, are some people going down pit road? I think pit road is open right there. Not yet, so not seeing tires playing much of an issue, at least not yet. I mean, they are free.
They are free. They got 6 sets in pit road if needed here tonight. So drivers are going to be in a spot where they can come in if they would like to use a set. But I'd imagine they're not going to be thinking about tires here until lap 50, 260, maybe even 30 if we get another decent long green flag run. Otherwise, a lot of drivers expected to just take that track position. We didn't see too much movement of those that are up front, but biggest mover so far of the drivers inside of our top 15 gonna be that of Chad Frankenfield, up 5 positions as we're stacking up and getting ready to get back to rolling action here at North Wilkesboro, a track of 0.63 miles in length. It's quick. The fast laps 18.5 seconds, and when they get to their slowest times, it's gonna be around that of 20 seconds. And we're ready to get back, getting these engines roaring here this evening. Our first restart, will it be calamity or can we keep it clean? Pace car is off and we're back to green flag racing here tonight.
California with an excellent jump. He elected to start on the outside lane, gave him a great entry into turn 1. He's able to clear both second and third well before the corner.
And he's going to be feeling confident. I mean, Alex, right now, already going to see that 40 machine, Tyler Fode. He was not here when that North Wilkesboro was being ran back in 2020. He showed up in the 2021 seasons, and Tyler Fode certainly was one of my drivers I had circled up as a not underdog, but serious threat to win tonight's race, as he's already found himself in a victory lane 3 times this season. It could be number 4 this evening as long as he keeps himself out of trouble.
Keeping yourself out of trouble is the name of the game. We were just coming up on some lap traffic, of which it will not take very much long here to get that when that caution came out. So about 15 green flag laps is what you will see before you start just looking at the back half of the field. Right on board, Kwame Scott in the 95.
Right on board with Kwame Scott, get to see a sense of this elevation change. It's not very aggressive on the elevation change, but you can see driving down into turn number 1 for the racetrack. You have to get harder onto the brakes into the entry of this corner and back into it as Joyner gonna be blinking out for a quick second. We don't know where he is. Scott has to back off because he doesn't know where the 03 went. And now this is a scary situation where Latham Joyner is gone. He has been disconnected. Scott, take second now.
We were on board with Kwame Scott when the 3 just disappeared. And wow, that is highly unfortunate for the guy that was running in the second position there. He just blinked it. You have to wonder. A disconnection issue we have had. I mean, we understand that half the United States, especially in the Southeast right now, experiencing a hurricane. Don't know if that may have been the cause, but yeah, Scott now just up to second, and we have definitely a situation where very bizarre situation, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, very bizarre. You don't usually see it very often, but with the circumstances with the hurricane that's going on, I know some drivers didn't even decide to show up as they're currently dealing with the hurricanes and power outages. Gerald Campbell not going to be able to race here tonight. RC Anderson was going to be able to show up here tonight either, as both those drivers dealing with the hurricane. And that of Joyner, we do not have 100% confirmation on the reasoning why, but it says that he manually disconnected from the server, most likely a computer issue on the reasoning for that. As we continue to stay green, 25 laps in, and these drivers up front have been playing nice, but deeper in the field, it has been a gaggle of cars that have been on top of one another. We seeing Ryan Gavel as well as Bronson Stafford, drivers battling for 13th on screen.
Yeah, the best, sometimes often the battles that we see on the track are not for first and second place, but it's down here in the back. Take a look at this one car. He got up underneath the 61 who's now having to fend off the two we were talking about in our pre-race ceremony. He had some work to cut out, and he's made his way up in the second caution of the night.
Looks to be the 63 of Hank Steinmiller, who's deep in the field, as we take a look at our Whiskey Cast replay on what brought out our second caution of the day. But yeah, I mean, touching on the 2 machine, Robert Hill Jr., fastest during practice until his drivers decided to wall ride and kind of messed up the practice times. But the 2, a lot of drivers were saying he looks quick, didn't have the best qualifying time. As we take a look here, looks like a self spin too low. The rear end just goes around for that of Steinmiller.
Ooh, the front stretch grandstands have been getting their money. It's worth today. Second caution of the night, second one on the front stretch there, and another second place self-spin. We're seeing these cautions come out around the 13 to 14 lap range, so we've not had a green flag run longer than that of our first stint, which was 14 laps before Harrison went around, and this one just before lap 30.
Yeah, and I'm curious if that's what's going to be the continuous kind of pattern we're going to see here tonight of a 10 to a 12 lap stint and then a yellow flag comes out, or if we're going to be able to see a little bit of a longer run. But that middle of the pack, just always everyone's scratching for every single position you can get. And Scott Crump, you see on screen, going to be taking off, and Crump's actually something I want to talk about. We have seen the 2 first yellows come out from Rex on the front stretch, but the back stretch is highly unlikely to see a yellow. You see that grass patch. A lot of drivers, you saw the tire tracks for a quick second. We have had multiple drivers slide through the grass, have issues. There's been about a handful of drivers that have not brought out a yellow, but have fallen deeper in the field. That's also going to be something of note on who in the middle of the field is going to have major issues that's going to cause them to be out of this race, as we already have 2 official DNFs of Joyner and also that of Alexander Gray, which Gray was already notified the league that he was going to be doing a start and park because he was not feeling well tonight.
Hope to have him feeling better by next week.
Hey guys, we got a couple of messages in the chat. Robert Hill says welcome back, Alex. Trey Holmes says welcome back, Alex. And R.C. Anderson has told us that he's not here tonight because his power is out in Florida.
Ooh. So as you heard there, RC Inner said, oh, and thank you guys very much. It's good to be back. We obviously hope for everybody in the path of this violent storm that they're okay. Hurricane season still very much in effect as we get the pace lights out from on top of the pace car. It's good to be back there, guys. So thank you for the shout out.
Oh, Alex, we're happy to have you back. We've been wanting you back. It was certainly a scary time. We're happy that I know you went through kind of a situation that most hope that they never have to go through, and we're happy that you made it through and you're here with us to be able to call this race, and we're just happy that you're okay at this moment as we're back to green flag racing. For myself, Sam Dyer, with my special guest who's back, Alex Ned, and we're ready to get you back rolling as Tyler Foti at turn number 2 is pulling away, but here comes the battle for second. Tucker wants that second place.
Yes, he does, and the worst way too, on the bottom of the racetrack. He's one of the cars that we've been able to see go multiple places. He's been able to travel up high and make a pass. He's been able to go down low and make a pass. So we'll see what happens as second place still trying to negate them amongst themselves between David Tucker and Bobby Scott.
Also looking at some of the drivers that are inside of cracking our top 10 that are looking quick. Chad Frankenfield we talked about, he is now cracked into our top 10. That is Shane Terrian, who won it back at Dover. He's cracked into the top 10 for a quick second with a 0-1 of Ryan Gavel. That's another driver I'm curious about. Gavel, a short track specialist that we've seen run modified, that of super late models here on iRacing. He is looking quick, just didn't get the qualifying that he wanted. Qualified back at 23rd, but already up to 10th.
Needs to be careful here because, as you can see in front and behind him, lots of heavy traffic. The reason and cause of why somebody has a bad day, but you also don't want to be a victim yourself there in case trouble breaks out in front of you. So.
And also, what's curious about watching this group, you see the cluster of drivers, that of the 83, the 48, and the 61, all teammates from Sky Motorsports Racing. But the 83, I know he hates hearing it all the time, but he's the controller specialist, drives on a controller while practically everyone else running a steering wheel and pedals and running well just outside of the top 10.
Yeah, that is a great job. Oh, we got one car very loose just behind him. He gathered it up. I believe it was that blue in the 48 car.
They're going to survive. Actually, I believe it was the 2. Robert Hill Jr. That was the driver that got loose. Lost about 3 positions. Holds it for himself. And he'll have to reset and try to figure out how to go through this traffic once again. That is looking jam-packed, looking like rush hour at this moment. Drivers just able to get away from one another.
Yeah, this is what gets frustrating. Especially if you don't have a great car. Say you know you have a 10th place car or something, but as we see the 01 Ryan Gavel just slapped the wall there, turn 4. But you find yourself in traffic, and that's what the frustrating part is that you can't get away. You know, you've been stuck in traffic all night long for a 10th place position. That gets hard.
Gets hard, and also short track racing, you're just in line with everyone else, and you can kind of get impatient. You bump someone in front of you and it could cause a chain reaction that could cause you to be involved with a wreck or cause a big one here, as that of North Wilkesboro. Easily one bad wreck with drivers around one another could cause a cluster and almost a gridlock type of a moment if drivers are not careful. But as we're watching that of Adams in the 1 machine, the 0-1 of Ryan Gavel, they're trying to pull away and catch up to those that are in front of them.
Right now, Tyler Foley, who has led every lap so far, we've not had a green flag pass for the lead yet today. But Bobby Scott he's been actually able to get around David Zucker, and he's back up in the second, applying some of the pressure back on the 40 car.
And he is right there on the bumper, and he's been close to thinking about giving a bump to the 40 of Tyler Fody. And, you know, with Fody coming into the night as the points leader, has a massive lead. It's one of those things where you could be thinking, you know what, maybe I'll put some more pressure on the 40. I'll ruffle his feathers, give him a bump here or there. Because if Tyler Fody has a bad race, it's not like he's going to be really in a forceful spot where he has to run perfect for the rest of the season. Still very good in points.
Yes. And, you know, I wish more drivers, taking off the commentator hat, thought that more amongst themselves, you know, like, hey, this guy has some points. He doesn't need that position. I do, you know, and you want to go out and fight. And we see that what could explain itself as we get to the third caution of the day. That one, ooh, we didn't even make it to the 17. Take a look. Is it the 61 Bronson Stafford? It is. Does he have help is the question.
And you're going to see the 98 of Brinkley gets back into the throttle. And Brinkley's got fresh tires. It come into the pit road on that last yellow and just ran right through the 61. I mean, Alex, I know the drivers over the radio are kind of having a different thoughts on that. Bronson Stafford felt like he was driven through. Brinkley feels like Bronson was just in the way, and both on screen kind of drove through the 61.
Yeah, exactly. He was just much more on ready to go and attack that next section of the racetrack there. Bronson still trying to get his bearings on exit of turn 4, but that short track racing, my best Joey Logano impersonation there.
It is certainly a lot of that. And with the timing of this yellow, I talked about it, laps 30 to 50. If we can get to those windows, drivers might think about coming into pit road. We are just on the brink of lap 50, and about that of 10 drivers deciding to hit pit road for themselves. Tire and fuel going to be for that of Michael Goodman, Hank Steinmiller, and plenty of others deeper in the field. But those that are up front, going to be that of Joshua Adams, Nick Massey, from 23rd on back, all taking tires and fuel.
All right, so that tells me that this is a track position race right here. You want to do the best that you can to keep holding your track position, and not have the guys that just pitted are planning on staying out, and cycling hopefully upward toward the front. When these guys do have to pit, they will have to make one pit stop. Nobody can make it as far as fuel completely. Are we sure about that?
We weren't given a complete fuel load for these drivers, but I would imagine it's going to be at this 50 marker. This should allow these drivers, if we get plenty of yellows from this point on, drivers should be able to make it. But based on what I'm seeing from that of Brinkley in the 98, before the yellow came out, he was flying through this field. And it could be a tire strategy calls later on. If you can find a way to carve your way through this field with that of newer tires and not get caught up in a big one, you have a chance to actually be up front and be a contention. And I think on this restart, we have to watch out for that 98 in 12th place, and as well everyone else that just came into pit road back in that of 23rd.
Looking at the 83 right there, don't know if he was assessed a penalty or not. But yeah, tires are definitely going to play a factor tonight. Your trips on pit road, or lack thereof, could decide your fate.
Well, now it's going to be given another chance here for Tyler Fody and Kwame Scott. Saw Scott trying to get more pressure on the 40 machine. Well, he'll be on the outside lane. Can David Tucker get a good restart here and try to put himself underneath that of the 95? Let's find out. Back to green flag racing for the North Wilkesboro 200.
Yeah, you saw Tyler Ford. He did not give the 95 a chance at all to try and guess what he was doing. He took off immediately once that pace car hit pit road, which is definitely within his discretion. Car way up the racetrack behind these guys there. But Tyler Ford is still hanging on. It's a purple car that keeps catching my eye right there in the probably 8th or 9th position.
Yeah, and that would be the purple of Shane Tarian. That's going to be catching your eye. And also in the middle of all of that, it's going to be the 98 of Brinkley, who's trying to make his surge. But kind of what we've been seeing for most of this night, only drivers that really can pick and choose what lane they want to be in seems to be our front four as they're single file. Everyone else stuck in their box and trying to make some passes, not able to do so. But here comes Scott, almost to the quarter panel. Just need to get back on the throttle a little bit sooner, but he's diving it into turn number one.
Oh, he wants this lead in the worst way possible right now. He took a handsome look underneath there in turn one, was unable to complete the pass. But that 95 car, he's not just riding around. He wants another spot.
The issue is he's being way too aggressive onto the entry of the corner, which is now hurting his exit. He has to get on the brakes. He's diving into the corners. And because he just has too much speed, the center off is where we're seeing that of Fody get the better exit. And that's how he's keeping this positioning.
You know, it's always interesting to me how to size up your competition, basically, and complete a pass. I mean, this is something that drivers contend with to this very day. Real life and in fake life is setting up this pass. And so you're on board the 95 here. Walk me through what you're trying to do to get this 40 car into a mistake in that position there, Sam.
I mean, it's a little frustrating for Kwame Scott's positioning for himself because that Fody is running the preferred lane, especially through that 3 and 4. Everyone's goal through 3 and 4 is to get as low as possible, almost hit the white line. But here through 1 and 2, again, you are going downhill. You got to get on the brakes a little bit sooner, which for Scott, he's got two different strategies. He can try to get a little bit lower than that of Fody and try to get a better exit by letting off early, back into the throttle soon. Just looks like for Kwame Scott, he might have burned off these tires a little bit too soon, but yellow flag's out. Caution as they're wrecking deeper in the field.
Fourth caution of the night. 7 might seem not so far-fetched as we take a look and see what happened here. This one's going to involve the 84 Wyatt Canadle.
And Nadal is going to be getting aggressive, trying to dive down low, but Hill's going to be there for the 2 and goes up, then overcorrects, and that's the snapping action you hate to see. Dustin Dorr gets involved. The 4 gets some contact as well.
Yes, that's some pretty heavy contact.
And for Nadal, that is going to be giving him what we call a meatball flag, almost getting to Harrison Talon as well as what we call the meatball flag. It's a black flag with an orange circle given to the drivers, giving them note you are required to come into pit road. If you do not come into pit road in the next 3 laps after giving that flag, you will be disqualified from the race. So when you come in, that damage could be anywhere from 30 seconds or up to 40 seconds if you blow, that of 30 seconds to 40 minutes if you blow an engine or just simply breaking a simple tire. So drivers, they're hoping that it's the smaller number of the 2, but your race could be done with small little damages.
Yes. Now this new car, on iRacing, it's built up. I mean, you hopefully are not going to see a 40-minute aggressive, and that did not look like a 40-minute hit to repair any damage. But nonetheless, some damage on that 84 car and the 4 as well.
Yeah, and for the 4, that was mainly just cosmetic damage. For the 84 machine, though, you can see on that front, gonna be front right, that front tire is really kinked in, not in an angle you want to be in, showing that he has a broken toe link. So damage-wise, could be anywhere from a 30-second required damage to about 8 minutes. That's usually what the range is looking like, but that's going to be putting at least the 84 to potentially 15 laps down, as Nadal is going to have a long night moving forward from this. And that is the one thing with the damage model here at iRacing. It's frustrating at some, and especially with the new update that came out here, Alex. For the longest time, the tires were the weak points. If you hit that against the wall or another driver, it would snap, it would break. You would have an automatic 8 minutes of required damage you have to deal with. But the new updates that have come out actually kind of turn this damage model into a build-up. It can build up. You can keep on hitting the same spot over and over again, but at some point, that wheel could break, giving you a broken toe length, or your engine could blow up if you get too much front-end damage.
Hey, underneath that caution flag, we got a change for the lead here. That 98 car rookie going to be leading here. And you had mentioned the his ability, his option of starting on a newer tire than that of around him probably drove this decision.
Yeah, that's going to be Blaze Blankley, who's going to be deciding to come into pit road that of 37 laps ago, which was 2 cautions ago for himself, and he's going to be up ahead. But he's got to be careful. The one machine of Adams, as well as others behind, going to be on the freshest of the 4 tires, as we're back to green flag racing. Of note, Chad Frankenfield in the 15, the 33 Red Bull machine of Martinez. They are still on the same set of tires they started the race off. They're going to be slow and could be hazards moving forward.
Side by side for second place, you see the 1 car. Adams taking a look on the outside of Frankenfield there. The 98
Caution's out.
Away. Caution is out for the 5th time today. It didn't take long.
And a little bit of a surprise. It's going to be on that of the backstretch. Watching that of Robert Hill Jr. in the 2. Just breaks loose with the new tires that he just grabbed. Gets into the grass, and once you touch the grass, it's a lost cause. That rear, it feels like you're on ice, and you're just hoping to hold on. It's late contact there at the end.
The 08 had nowhere to go.
That's Mark Keeler in the 08.
There just couldn't get slowed up. But you're right. The worst thing I've been told, the worst thing you can do in the race car is get in the grass. Exactly what that 2 car does. Then big bump from the 08 to Mark Keeler.
And Keeler luckily does not get engine damage, or at least required engine damage, but that was a hard lick could be putting him a little bit under on power. We'll have to watch out for that, as he'd been running deeper in the field for most of the night, as it's going to be the 2 given the tally. And for Robert Hill Jr., he's got to be careful. That is the second caution he's been involved with.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be involved with anymore.
I'm surprised he was not given a tally the first time. So, I mean, that's just how quickly your race can change here. The 0-2.
Oh.
Driving through some folks.
But I also want to bring up that talking point for Chad Frankenfield as well as Daniel Martinez. They are up inside of the top 5, and both have now pitted this race. Everyone else so far tonight has already made their first pit stop. Some have already made 2. For Chris Wright, he's made the most with 3, coming off and topping on fuel, and got his set of tires on caution number 4 of this race. But I'm curious on, for Chad Frankenfield and Martinez, they're obviously going for the track position is mostly important. And I think they might be banking on more yellows to come out quickly and for the end of this race if they're staying out at this point.
I mean, well, they will eventually have to pit. We do know that. Based on the fuel load, they can't make the full 200. But, yeah, that is an interesting strategy, considering you do know that at some point you're going to have to come down pit road and cut your losses there. The question is, can you cycle back toward the front, that track position that he has right now, and say, let's look for my tempting.
As that of the 2 machine is going to be dropping to the tail end of the field with an EOL penalty, as everyone else getting ready to stack up as pace car lights about to be turned off, giving us the 1 to go indicator. 5 cautions in, and it was a talking point. We were throwing out numbers on what we thought potentially cautions could be. The league owner, Chad Frankenfield, thought potentially 7 could be the number. I wasn't sure on the over or under for that. I threw out 9 was my number. And if we look at the patterns for the 2 races that have been ran here, it has been over 10 cautions for both. 11 that of our last time that drivers were here. The first time, it was 13 cautions. So, Alex, if we're going based off those numbers, we still got a couple to go, as we're not even at halfway yet. The drivers are ready and set. Let's get back to green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro for the North Wilkesboro 200.
Yeah, Brinkley gets an excellent jump in front of the field. He'll gas it up and get going in front of the 15 at Chad Frankenfield. Side-by-side battle for 3rd place between 2 blue cars, right?
Oh,
and
caution. Quick caution going to be happening. And it's on the backstretch for the 60 machine of Joey Chapman. As we watch this Brixi Cam replay, 60's trying to gain a couple of positions by that of Dustin Dorr. He's also got his teammate of the 61 of Bronson Stafford to the outside, but just breaks loose right in the center of the corner. And oh no, right in front of Brent Jones and others.
Oh yeah, Scott Haney gets a piece of it. The 2 car, who was the cause of our last caution, has flying through the grass again. Just not what you want to see. And these cautions, they're a big break for the guys that have not pitted the 15 of Chad Frankenfield, right 57 car, who's in the 3rd position. So these cautions coming out here, I mean, we're up to 6. They're gonna play a factor in how you call this race.
It really is. And if you're in the chat, you're watching us here live, type in the chat, how many cautions do you think? Again, I threw out 9. Alex, how many cautions do you think we're going to throw out? Now, I threw out my number before we even went green.
That's true.
But we're giving you the advantage here. You are the guy that's come back. We're happy to give you that advantage. You already are at 6. How many more do you think we're going to get?
Oh, I must say double. We already have 12.
You're going to go 12?
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
we have more than half this race still to do. And we're already
true.
On 77. So, no tally issued for that one.
I'm interested on that one. I thought for sure they would have thrown that out for Chapman as self-spin, but not a tally. You know, it is always interesting on the tally calls when you want to throw them out for a driver on how aggressive or egregious the incidents have been. We've seen a couple of drivers running through others. That one just a simple self-spin on cold tires, getting themselves spun around, and Joey Chapman will be sent to the tail end of the line. And still up front, going to be that of Blaze Brinkley, Chad Frankenfield, Chris Wright, Joshua Adams, Jesse Rasmus, as well as Daniel Martinez, Nick Massey, Ryan Gavel, Wesley Crump, and Michael Goodman finishing out our top 10. Biggest mover so far going to be Wesley Crump, up 31 positions from where they started 40th up to 9th place.
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all. And other big movers, that of Chris Wright, who is going to be up front starting 3rd. He's up 24 positions from where he started. As we're stacked up, ready to go, it's time to try to see how these drivers can attest. We're still that of 21 laps away from making it to halfway here this evening. Currently, right now, we've seen a couple of fast drivers. Tyler Fode was one of the fastest early on, but that 40 machine is stuck in the heart of the field in 16th place. Can he get back up front? Time will tell. Pace car is off, and we're back to green flag racing here.
You see that 98 man, you as the leader, being able to control the restarts of this race is huge. And he flat took off. Chad had no chance, really. He had to react, and that reaction time is going to place him now in the battle for 2nd and 3rd, right just behind him.
Oh, contact! It's going to be Chris Wright, spinning, saving into the grass. He's got to stay low. Will do so as we go 3 wide. Everyone passing the 57, and from 3rd all the way back to last place, and they're wrecking behind as it's going to be Dustin Dorr ringing out this yellow.
7th caution flag is out.
And Alex was crazy. We saw all the madness from seeing that of the 57 dropping back. I think this might have been a self-spin, but we'll see if there was any assistance. But I don't think this was even reacting to Chris Wright's issue that he had early on.
Oh, yeah. You see the back end of the race car totally out of the groove.
Oh, no.
That self-snap. He gets into 83. Harrison Talon pounds the outside wall.
Allen, who had already spent so much time in pit road, also the
9 drills him late in that one.
Capel just not slowing down in time for that, but Harrison Talon, he gets a meatball flag, required damage to the 23. That is his 2nd required damage flag for himself, and Dustin Dorr as well. Going to be having to come into pit road for required damage for themselves as they get to pedal along. Gives us time to say thanks to some of our sponsors here this evening that help us out at the Elite Racing Network and the Elite Racing League. For that of the Blue Egg Marketing, would like to give a big thanks to them. Some of the best at trying to help those at making marketing departments for small businesses as well. They want to make sure that your marketing department is the best that it can be. Blue Egg Marketing, best for small business owners, and also want to make sure that they can help you today. As well, that of TA Services is for over 36 years. TA Services has been the trusted domestic and international full services third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage as well as managed transportation, warehouses, and fulfillments. If you'd like to go help out, as they can do cross-borders logistics and services and help you in shipping around the globe, they've got you covered at TA Services. As well as our last sponsor before we get ourselves back to racing action. It's probably one of my favorite sponsors that we have here at the Elite Racing Network, and that's Brixi Cam. If you're going to be looking around the world, hey, look up to see if you can find yourself a Brixi Cam. If you don't have a tripod or an easy, accessible way to make sure that you can get a group photo, well, go look up where Brixi Cams are. It's that of a tech company based in Toronto and Boston that are trying to make sure that traveling and tourism spots with the best places and views have cameras set up for you. As drivers are set up, stacking up, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Alex, it's great to have you back. I just can't get over the fact that you are back in the booth with us. And man, it's time to get us back to green flag racing. This restart is all yours.
I've been waiting for this. I've missed you guys very, very much. So I'm glad to be back, and we're glad to be putting on some great action here. Pace car down pit road. Brinkley brings them back down on the green flag, and we are racing once again. Rasmus with interesting action. That's 70.
And that 70 machine going to be trying to fight with Chad Frankenfield. Also going to have that of Joshua Adams behind, and the 33 Red Bull gray machine going to be that of Daniel Martinez. Again, the 1533 old tires, they have not pitted here today, and they are still fighting and looking quite strong as Bodio. I mean, that I've seen Frankenfield holds on there.
Yeah, that was a moment. And we have seen him step out as Ryan Gavel just behind him had a big moment himself in that 01 car. He's gonna lose a spot or two.
He'll be able to hold back to 6th places. He's got Nick Massey as well. Going to be seeing the 44, Michael Goodman, on the complete high line. More contact going to be made with the 48 and the 01.
That was a little bit of a hip check, and I'll take that spot. Thank you. 48, Nick Massey goes. Got a car blinking right behind him. Caution. Our 8th one of the night.
And it's going to be for the 3 of Scott Haney as we look at the Whiskey Cast. And it looks to be another cell spin here as Scott Haney is going to be trying to get back into the throttle. And I got to say, looking at this track, exit of 4, probably the most difficult corner of the 2 exits. You just try to get back into the throttle, and it just wants to spin out on you at all times, especially if you're trying to put down the throttle as soon as possible. And you see there, even when you're low and trying to hug the inside lane, that car can fight back and bite you in an instant.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, the stands are, what do you call it? Our fans, excuse me, sitting in the front grand straightaway. They've gotten their money's worth, because that is definitely where all the action has taken place.
It really has. And honestly, watching the iRacing versions of seeing these Gen 7 cars here at North Wilkesboro, it just makes me more excited for next year for actual NASCAR. They're going to be running here in the real life for the All-Star race. I'm jazzed for it, especially with the last couple of All-Star races we've had for NASCAR. I think this is going to be the most excited I've been for an All-Star race in a while.
I 110% agree with you right there. This has been, we don't talk about the All-Star race. It's September, and we're talking about the All-Star race. So, looks like the 3's at fault cell spin, but no tally issue for the 3 at least.
Looks like he's going to be at pit road for quite a while, though, for that of Scott Haney. And still in pit road, going to be that of Harrison Talon, Dustin Dorr, as both of them are going to have still extreme damage, as Latham Joyner as well as that of Alexander Gray going to be the first 2 drivers officially out of this race. Dustin Dorr is still questionable if he's going to decide to come back out on track, but we started with 42 drivers here this evening. A much bigger field than what we even see in NASCAR today, but a large field, and we're down to just 30 drivers on the lead lap. We've got that of 8 drivers. They're going to find themselves 1 lap down as we take a look here at that of the Rookie of the Year championships at the current moment. Talked about that of Latham Joyner. And with this race not having the run that he wanted, this now gives opportunity for some of those drivers like Kwame Scott and Zach Rogers to try to crack in to the battle to see who can go for that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, with Joyner not even on the track anymore, that there's a good 40 points up for grabs, depending on where these guys finish in the days that they have. So, a good run for Rookie of the Year for people that are not Jordan.
And Kwame Scott going to be, you see there, of the 95, going to be in 11th position at this current moment in the belly up racing machine. I'm excited to see how he can move forward, as he's going to be side by side with who was
the round at turn 4, and they pile up.
The big one strikes here. We talked about the potential of a gridlock, and it almost took out everyone to come to a complete stop. And immediately, black flag penalties are going to be given out, but here's going to be our focus up front. Ryan Gavel Goodman, as well as Martinez, going to be the drivers of note that we're going to have our eyes on. And Daniel Martinez.
Drivers were fighting inside the top 10, and Gavel gets into 33, who then goes up the racetrack. It becomes blocked at this point.
Tate Lytle has to slow down. He gets hit.
The 12 car, the 16, Rusty back with the leg breaking again, unfortunately. More damage. Front end of that Chevy Camaro. But yes, it starts here with the 01 trying to take a look underneath the 33. There's just not enough room.
Oh, Scott just somehow scaving at first, but then gets more contact. There's going to be other drivers, even the exit at turn 4. And I honestly, Alex, with how bad it looked at the initial start, the more replays we watch, not as many drivers as we possibly could have been thinking there on that first wreck that would piled in the majority of these drivers. Our first massive big one of the night as we hit the halfway marker.
Halfway, 100 down, 100 to go, and I believe that was our 8th caution.
That would be your 9th.
Oh, so I only got 3 more before we're done with mine. So
we're on mine.
Yes. So they cannot wreck anymore. You've heard it here first. You guys are out of yellow flags. No.
We're hoping that they'll be done, but got a feeling since we're only halfway, we might be able to cut that in half. 14 was what the chat was throwing down for a quick second there. Still got the chat open. If you got any ideas on how many yellows you think we're going to be having here tonight, please put them in as well. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think is going to win? That of Blaze Blankley in the 98s had the lead, and it all came down to the strategy call from this 98. Came into pit road on our second caution of the day, was one of the few drivers that were inside of our top 10 that decided to come into pit road for tires at that point. Took the strategy call. Then after 2 more yellows at lap 50, the majority of our front runners came into pit road, and this 98 has gotten that track position and now has been looking very confident up front. And no one's really been looking at pressuring our leader, which seems to be a recurring theme. We didn't see Fody under a lot of pressure on these early restarts. Exactly. And Blakely's been looking good as well.
He has very much so, and I think he'll probably he's been playing mind games on these restarts. He started on the inside, he started on the outside. He's on the outside again. We'll see when he decides to take off. You saw right there, that 70 car was not up to speed there. 90 and Blaze-Ski, he gets away. We're back up the ring.
Blankley's going to be feeling great for himself as Rasmus now going to be under pressure from a new contender, and that's Nick Massey. Massey, who has shown himself in victory lane quite a few times last season for the 2022 A season, excuse me. This 48, he's found himself being a finalist last season for the championship, and now an opportunity to go for second place as Blankley, a rookie, looking for their first win this season, and potentially could happen as we're past halfway, and the rest of the field starting to single file out until you get back to that of 9th, where Tyler Fody is under a ton of pressure, and it's a gaggle of cars, the Hornet's Nest in the middle of the field.
I would definitely say so, just behind this 98 car. Don't look behind yourself. You'd be, what do you call it, dumbfounded. To see the action that maintains itself pretty nice and clean right now, but a lap ago, I was for sure thought we'd be yelling caution.
Yeah, would have been not really concerned about how these yellows would have happened, as you've got some aggressive drivers right here. Tyler Fody, who looked good up front, also going to be seeing that of Shane Tarian, but Scott Crump, who has not been a factor all night long. He was caught up with being involved with the wreck that didn't bring out a yellow. You see a ton of smoke that's from drivers in pit road, but honestly, for the 90 machine, this has been a complete recovery run since lap 15, and now is inside the top 10, getting by the 83. Scott Crump is on a mission to get up front.
He really is, and he's doing a great job. And we were joking amongst ourselves here, but I've not seen that car actually blink at all. So good for him. The internet seems to be around the 10th caution. of the night.
Okay, Alex, tell us which car this
it
is.
It would be completely all right for number 10 for our cautions to be the 10.
Oh man, Jared Rexing, who if you heard Huckleberry there, give me a playful jab there. I forgot his name earlier. Oh, yep, the classic turn 4 oversteer.
And all the drivers trying to scatter their way around. David Tucker deep in the field, as well as Tate Lytle and a couple of others. And with the timing of this yellow, could be seeing some drivers decide to hit pit road. And it is our leader, Blaze Blakely, hits pit road under this caution. Also going to be following, it's going to be that of Jesse Rasmus. And this is going to gift the lead to Nick Massey.
Wow. Tires obviously playing a determining factor toward that. Don't know. Obviously, these drivers have more information than us, but I wasn't expecting a Blaze really to come back down pit road at all.
He did come into pit road early. He came into pit road around lap 30 during this race, so it was slightly too early for my liking, but it could have been a thought of, well, we're past halfway. We got 90 laps to go. It's going to be a little bit less than 90 once we go green. This could be my last stop of the night. I'm going to make this stop. Going to make sure I keep this nose clean, out of trouble, which is going to be a tough, a task to do.
Call,
but he's going to try his best.
Hard back in, wherever he might be, 25th or so.
But looking at the drivers in front of that of the 98 that have already come into pit road, Chris Wright, he's back up inside of our top 10. He was caught up in a contact and spill after running into Chad Frankenfield that of 30 laps ago. He came into pit road 20 laps ago after that incident and currently is on a great run. I believe we could see this 57 try to take it from here to the end, which could be that track position that he's looking for. And all he needs to do, if you're the 57, is keep this nose clean and wait until the drivers ahead of you come into pit road.
I like it. I like it. The easiest positions you will make are the ones you pass on pit road. So,
I think smarter, not harder. That's always the goal.
Exactly.
As drivers are stacking up, it's going to be Nick Massey, Joshua Adams, as well as Kwame Scott. Trey Holmes, Tyler Fody is now back inside of our top 5 with Scott Crum, Shane Terrian, Alex Rucker, that of Andrew Rucker, Zachary Rogers, going to be that is Chris Wright, going to be our top 10. Ready to get rolling as we're coming out of turn number 2. We got plenty of great racing action moving forward. We've got ourselves just that of a handful of races left before we get to the playoffs, where 14 drivers will battle it out for the playoffs and a championship. So we got ourselves heading to that of Gateway, Indianapolis, as well as going to Phoenix and Homestead before playoff action gets rolling. And for us, we're back to Green Flag Racing. And will we see any more yellows? Time will tell as Nick Massey takes us out of turn number 2.
Yes, they were side by side for that second position. That 95.
Oh, there's a caution.
Caution is out. 11th one of the night. Will you be able to survive the calamity that is this behind the
No, it can't be Nadel. Wyatt Nadel just after getting his massive repairs done. Gonna get contact with the 08 into the 9 and spin him around. As here comes caution number 11.
Oh, and into the side of Tate Lytle, who's had some contact himself, especially more now for our defending champion. So Wyatt Nadel and 56 of Tate Lytle not having the type of day they expected. Here.
And as we take another look here, Alex, got to give a report for Shane Terrian. He's going to come into pit road. He was up inside of our top 5, decided to get his potential final set of tires and fuel. As Tate Lytle, an innocent victim, and this has just not been his night at all for a driver that has seen success here at North Wilkesboro before.
Yeah, led the most laps, as you had pointed out, in both races that we had back here in 2020. did not come on the circuit for the year 2021, but it's unfortunate of a victim of circumstance here tonight. So.
And now the drivers get to try again as we are coming up to just 80 laps to go and closing in quickly to the end of this race. And Alex, yes, we've had a lot of cautions, and a tally will be given to the 84 of Nadel, which I believe that could be his second one. So he's got to be careful getting too many. But this race, I threw out what's upcoming on the schedule, going to Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, then going to that of the Brickyard for the final of our Crown Jewel events. It's going to be a full length 400 miles. And then we're going to be heading ourselves to Phoenix Homestead before we see that first blue line. That is the start of the playoffs where the drivers head to Chicagoland.
It's not that far. And considering with the real NASCAR season coming to an end there, just that second week of November, I mean, we truly do not have very much time. So you need to get all the points you can.
Hey, that you really do. And I've got to say, I'm a fan of that first round. Chicagoland, then we're going to the Indianapolis road course, which is the brand new road course that has been rescanned at Indy. And then the drivers finish out that round at Talladega. That is going to be a tough first round, but it's going to be entertaining. And if you want to see all the great coverage, even throughout the week of all the different leagues that are covered here on the Elite Racing Network, go subscribe, hit that bell notification to be notified when we go live for all the great racing action. And also make sure to follow all the social medias. And if you want to get into racing, go check out the Elite Racing League. Go fill out, get prepared. The new season of 2023 about to start as we're back to green flag racing.
Nick Massey did not get the best jump there on that restart. He's going to have to fight for this lead with one car on the outside. That's Joshua Adams.
And then Kwame Scott going to be in third. He's going to be on that pressure for himself. Scott almost able to get back to the throttle. Going to be able to make the pass for second place. And now it's set up how to get to the quarter panel of the 48. And he could be there. A fabulous launch as Crump gets loose out of the corner.
Yes, he did. Almost into the side of the 88 of Trey Holmes. Doing an excellent job piloting that Diet Mountain Dew machine.
Oh, and Holmes really diving it into that corner. A little bit too aggressive. Didn't get in the brakes enough. And he also might have gotten a little bit of a help from a bump as the slashing and dashing number 40 machine. It is Tyler Fode still struggling to get through the traffic. As if that of Kwame Scott has done a fantastic job for the 95. The 40 on the other side of the coin, trapped, stuck, and he'll just try to break into the top 5.
Yes, he has not had the luck or at least jumping in the lane positions. I think that also plays a factor into how he was been able to attack and get through this traffic. As we see the 48, Nick Massey, he is under attack. That Scott guy, he's just not going away, whether it be 40 or Massey in front of him.
The more that they start to battle up front, the closer that Joshua Adams and Scott Crump are going to try to close in. But for Kwame Scott, he needs to get to that quarter panel and make it side by side. Not able to do so at this current moment, but I do want to give an update of drivers in the middle of the field. We talked about that of Blankley. He is coming through the field. He's on that last restart. He was deep in that 23rd position. He's already up to 15th, showing off the speed that 98 has. He is fast right now, Alex, and he wants to get back up in front.
Especially with those new tires that you had mentioned there. He's trying to make the most work of it. And he's one of those guys where now that you've had this strategy, you don't need a caution flag, because the caution is going to take away laps, your chance of improving your position. It goes through that computer. So you don't want to be on the backside. Oh, he got very loose in turn 2, or excuse me, turn 3 and 4.
And also got a little bit of contact into that of Ryan Gavel. And Gavel is also on some decently fresh tires. He's going to be trying to move forward. It's only that about 9 lap difference between the 01 and the 98. When he comes back to short track racing, a handful of laps isn't too big of a difference, but here at North Wilkesboro, drivers are working on these tires, going with the elevation change of going down into turn number 1, up into turn 3. And this 11 of Matthew Weeks, he has been locking up his brakes for the 11. Been seeing puffs of smoke here or there. Might have too much of that a front brake bias in. Might need to cool that back and help himself out.
Got around the 88 though. And I believe that was a pass for position. Yes. Holmes now back to the 10th position. It's up to 9th. We see Talifoli trying to make a headway on the 64 Rucker. Rucker, as you had mentioned, is still looking for his first top 10 of the season.
Yeah, and that's a big surprise. This 64 has been known in the history of the Elite Racing League. Our next caution comes out, and it's Bronson Stafford and that Blaze Blinkley gonna be involved with this one, which that's a little bit of payback from earlier this race.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was Blaze Blinkley that ran through the 61 back for, I believe, our third caution of the day. And then it's Bronson Stafford getting into the throttle into the 80s, that of the 98. Center of the corner, gets into the throttle sooner than Blinkley. It spins himself both out.
Well, he almost did that nicely. I had forgotten that they had made contact earlier. And, you know, you want to send a message that, hey, you're not going to be pushed around. So the 98 car on the receiving end is some payback there.
And over the radio, both drivers, for Blinkley, he's confused. Bronson Stafford over the radio saying he missed the corner, just came in a little bit too hot. And both drivers, I think, a little frustrated as Blaze was feeling like he was on a winning strategy. This is now going to put him back deeper in the field than he wants to. Bronson Stafford kind of in a, well, you ruined my race already. I'm kind of in on the off-foot strategy, but this allows some drivers over up front. Nick Massey, as well as seeing others coming into pit road for their potential final stop. And we were looking to stay green there for quite a bit until that yellow came out. And this now kind of shakes up a lot of what these front runners got to do. And for Kwame Scott and some of the others up front, I think this might have been one of their best opportunities coming to pit road and have the best track position after making a stop.
Yes. As I've called this a track position race, you want to protect that at all costs. And with our now, what I've we've gone past, or we're going to go past my number, I believe. I don't think we're done with the yellow flag yet. So 12th caution, that puts my stat up, my number up.
I know one person in the broadcast is going very high with 21. Our broadcast admin deciding to go with 14 earlier this race. 14's not a bad call, but we still have plenty of opportunities as well. If needed, we do have overtime, which the last time these drivers were here, back for the 2020 B season, they did find themselves going to overtime. And with the way these drivers have been aggressive, some of the drama in these passes and dive bomb moves have been, overtime could be calling for us later on, as still have ourselves 65 laps to go this evening. And it's Kwame Scott as well as Scott Crump on the oldest tires on track, going to be our front two.
Oldest tires? See, Todd Fody has been, he's slowly but surely, you never count out that 40 car, ever.
No, you really can't, especially with his 3 wins this season. He is honestly the biggest threat coming into the night. See if he's going to go out there. As incident, second time both drivers been involved with one another, there has been a warning issued for both that of Blinkley and Bronson Stafford, as Stafford has decided to go a lap down and is all the way back in 32nd position, as Blinkley's going to be up there in 15th. And the drivers are ready to go back to green flag racing. Kwame Scott, Scott Crump, also Fody, going to be on the oldest tires. How well can they hold off? Let's find out as they're coming through that of turns 1 and 2.
Kwame Scott got a good jump there, able to protect the lead from Scott Crump in the 90 car. And those old Goodyear rubber being put to use right in front of the 57 and the 48.
Chris Wright's going to be on the freshest of tires of those that are inside of our top 5. So he is going to be trying to move forward the best that he can. And we talked about this when he was back in that of 9th place. Drivers in front of him were going to have to come into pit road and gift positionings to the 57 as Chad Frankenfield holds on for the 15, who's been showing signs of loose sensation. He has been very aggressive on back on the throttle, and it looks like it's backfiring at this moment.
Yeah, a couple of cars back there are drifting up the racetrack there as we see the 01, a big shot to the back bumper of the 15 at Chad Frankenfield.
And they're all stacking up, and when one driver has a slip up, slows down, it just is an accordion effect to go all the way through and can affect the drivers for a next couple of laps. And there's even more contact. Ryan Gavel, he's not trying to run over the 15, but the entry points, the braking points, they're so different. Gavel is wanting to fly, while that of Frankenfield is wanting to stop.
Yeah, and that could have been big. Now, if you're the 01, perhaps you're a little bit frustrated. You want this 15 out of your way.
Trying to get to that outside quarter panel. And Alex, I mean, Gavel is certainly someone that is willing to try some very aggressive moves. And he was looking good last week at that of the Roval, led over 20 laps. Was that a Ryan Gavel? But tonight, it has been a fight and claw top of an evening just to get inside of the top 10. And now, kind of stuck behind the 15 machine and even boxed in with Martinez.
Doing all that he can, that 01 car, trying to get around on the high side.
Whoa, he thought he was clear.
He thought for a second, but...
Oh, a little bit of door bang. They're rubbing off one another.
Some paint transfer between the 33 and the 01. And I do believe Gavel is faster than the 15.
Yeah.
Can't find a way around him.
Finally gets clear of the 33, and now he's going to go for a shot. I think he might give a little bit of a bump here, Chad Frankenfield, as other drivers behind on fresh rubber. Again, we've seen a lot of different cycles of drivers trickling into pit road these last couple of cautions. That 83 machine in the purple, it is going to be Shane Terrian. He is on that of just 30 lap old tires, while everyone else is on 50 or more old lap tires. This is going to be a driver to watch out for, and Blaze Blinkley still trapped that in 13th place. The damage too much for that of the 98, who's going to be going 3 wide for Thomas and Adams.
My goodness. I'm sorry. The 98 is a lap down, as you mentioned.
No, he's on the lap. He's on the lead lap. It's 61 that went a lap down between those two bickering. That was for position, and now going to be moving forward.
This 98 car, I mean, he might be down, but he's definitely not out. And with new tires, you know, it's not all said and done for that 98 car.
Absolutely not.
56.
And
Tate Lytle doing a great job as well, despite his day.
That's the thing I wanted to bring up, Alex. The 83, the 56, and the 98 all are on fresh tires at this current moment. And they're going to be the trio that are going to try to keep moving forward together. It's right now Shane Terrian that's going to be the... Oh, no, we're actually going to have a quick caution, as it's going to be seeing the 21 as well as Andrew Rucker, who was looking quick. Rucker gets struck in with his bad luck that he's been having all season long.
Unlucky number 13 of the night. This will tie the record set in 2020, I believe. Hey, so we get another caution. It would break the record, and Rucker, that was kind of a late pile driven into by the 21 who had nowhere to go, and the 60 barely avoids him as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the 21 of Justin Vandermeerl, going to be that driver. And with the timing of this yellow, there was a large cluster of drivers that still thought pit road was a place they needed to go. About that of 10 drivers up inside of our top 20, all deciding to hit pit road now, being led by Tyler Fody and also Blaze Blinkley, going to be a part of that group of drivers that just hit pit road. It's the 64 going to be at fault.
And this is kind of taking a look from the 21. Oh, where do you go? Where do you go?
Oh, I think he got tapped to the 21 by the 7, it looked like there.
Behind him?
Yeah, I think it was just coming out of the corner. As we're going to watch from a rear camera right in on board with the 21. I think for Justin, he was thinking about where he wanted to go. He was trying to slow down and assess on what was happening with Rucker.
Yep.
Gets hit and then nowhere to go. He got sent right in.
And the 7 also was getting hit. I didn't catch the car that was behind him, but short track racing.
Yeah, and that other contact, that was going to be Dustin Dorr, who had no idea what was going on in the 32. As you're going to see here, Hodges does not think about slowing down and just runs right in. And now they're going to be reset, trying again, and 13 cautions in. Kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen, especially with short track racing. The other short track that we've had this season was at the Bristol Dirt Race. That had quite a few cautions as well. And especially short track racing, cautions usually find themselves breeding other cautions.
Yeah, they do. And we have 45 laps to go here. As I had mentioned before, I do not think we're done with the yellow flag yet. So this caution, though, ample opportunity for drivers to go down pit road, and some of them take your tires. I believe that is going to be their last time. So that window of opportunity for that new tires is closing.
Yeah, it's kind of starting to shrink closer and closer now, especially with it going to be 45 laps to go and we go green again. You've got our top, that of 11 drivers on old, quote-unquote, old tires. For sure on the oldest is Kwame Scott and Scott Crump. They're on 90-plus old tires. Then the next group, that's going to be the second row, they're on that of 50-plus old tires. Then you got another bout, that of 8 drivers that are on 20-plus old tires. And then everyone else from 12th on back just came into pit road on this last caution. So there is quite a few gaps that we're dealing with here. And it's going to be Tyler Fode and that of Chad Frankenfield going to be leading the charge on the freshest of tires back in 12th and 13th place.
And they're going to make too bad we don't have the ability to have like 2 cameras side by side, because them racing through this field is going to be a sight to see. We'll try to keep an eye on it for y'all. Kwame Scott and Scott Crump restart back underway.
And going to be seeing that 95 taking off, feeling comfortable, but behind them, Ryan Gavel kind of being pushed around as he's going to be able to hold on for that at least 3rd place side by side with Scott Crump. And they're drifting, pushing up the track. It's Scott Crump into Gavel, and Gavel's going to have to back out as Crump still, I mean, this is the best thing the 95 can be asking for. It's Scott Crump blocking, defending, and willing to beat and bang to hold on for second.
Yes, and you see the lead that he has stretched out of it. Almost a second between as the 90 and the 01 continue to battle one another.
And it's going to be that Ryan Gavel finally able to get on by. And now the question looms for the 90 machine. How much more beating and banging is he going to do to the other drivers that are around him? Is a little bit loose out of the corner. Here comes Adam to the outside. Going to go a little bit wider, utilizing his fresher tires than the 90 machine. It's Ryan Gavel has to set up, or will he, as Crump dives it down low.
Where the guys on the new tires? Ooh, contact between the 90 and the 01. Right,
and we get a caution.
Caution.
And that's exactly what these drivers.
Number 14.
That's exactly what these drivers needed. Was a calm down wreck, and it's going to be a self spin here from Scott Haney, because these drivers were going to wreck up front if this yellow didn't come out.
They definitely were. I think you were definitely on to something right there. Scott Haney in the 3 car. Going to be a self spin into turn 1.
Looks like he just got onto the brakes a little bit too hard and maybe downshifted as well on the entry of the corner. Got that 3 machine, the rear end, the weight shifted too much. And a self spin on the entry of the corner. Not the most common place to see yourself spin out, but still a place you can find yourself with troubles. Is for other drivers up front, Shane Tarian hits pit road and is going to be giving up over 12 positions, if not more, coming in with this stop. Also, Rasmus and Joey Chapman going to be making their stop as well.
And like I said, that window for the new tires. I believe now you're past that. Like, these people they're deep in the field. It's gonna be hard to make up that track position. 38 laps to go.
Yeah, and for Kwame Scott, I mean, he's in a spot where at least he's the leader at this point. If the 95 wasn't the leader, if you're in a Scott Crump situation, I feel like you have to come into pit road. Feels like almost an impossible type of a hold off that you're going to have to do here. But he's going to stay out. And the 90 machine, who's been willing to beat and bang, now is curious on how it's going to work, as the 3 now going to have to retire with another self spin.
Looks like the 70 was unable to beat the pace car off of pit road, so he will go a lap down here.
Which is now going to put us with 26 drivers on the lead lap. And now we'll make it back to 27 as Mark Keeler in the 08 is going to be put back on the lead lap for himself. 27 drivers.
To see the line, what the 95 decides to do. Now, has Kwame Scott, I know he's a rookie, has he won yet?
Kwame Scott still looking for that first win for themselves, but certainly a season where Scott has been hoping to get quicker and quicker. The luck hasn't been completely there, though, for the 95. Their best finish this season was 4th place back at the Bristol Dirt Race, 5th at that of Monza, as they were at that of the Mazda Grand Prix, and then also had a 35th place finish last week at the Roval after being disconnected. But I gotta say, for those 3 races, still some decent finishes at the short tracks and at road courses, so it kind of makes sense why we're seeing this heavy braking zone type of a track where Scott is running as well as he is.
Yeah, he's done a great job as a rookie in this series to be leading here with 35 to go. Not a bad job.
And for that, Kwame Scott, he's got to hope that this restart is great, as drivers slotting into the right positioning. It's going to cause a little bit of a jam pad. This could be a weird little bit of accordion effect as we're back to green flag racing. Ryan Gavel, how can the 01 try to catch up to the 95? He's got the fresher tires, and it's time to see how he can utilize them as he's trying to run up and go forward. But drivers are going to be bumping and banging off one another, and watch out for the 90 machine.
Wow,
Scott
they're
Crump.
4 wide behind him. They were 4 wide there. I saw Tate Lytle in the middle of that, literally.
Yeah, and it was Michael Goodman who didn't survive out of it. He got so low, backed out of it, and lost over that of 10 positions as the 44 would fall deep in the field. And drivers going over the radio. Michael Goodman's going to take blame for that incident as everyone else starts to try to single file out up front. It's everyone else back around 10th place that are getting a little bit frisky with one another.
This 01 and 1 car, they're going to have a conversation. And I don't know if it'll be nice amongst.
I'm in a short track race, and Alex, you got beat and bang if you want to get this win, or at least have a chance to battle for the win. Is Adam now going to be able to finally clear, or will he? No. Gavel with a great launch out of the corner.
But he has to yield that position with his entry point into turn 1 there. Very loose, I've noticed, on the exit of turn 2. He's going to get a bump from the 48 car, who hangs on.
Massey trying to get moving. He feels boxed in for the 48. Trying to get to the quarter panel, and Crump still defending. He's there, though. Here comes Nick Massey back into the throttle. Crump gets into Gavel. They hold on, almost hitting, as drivers ahead of him having issues onto the grass. It looked like that was the 33, and Crump holds on somehow. No, back up into the field. He holds the brake, and somehow they stay straight.
Oh my goodness. Scott Crump with a major issue on the front stretch, and he's still getting plowed into.
And yellow flag will fly.
Record tying, or record breaking, excuse me, the 15th one of the night. Rusty Capel in the 9 car. The unfortunate star of this latest caution. Now, this comes after what happened on the front stretch. And Wyatt Canale, he cannot buy a break right now.
Nor can
Or
Talent.
Harrison Talent. My goodness.
They just can't get away from it. They're just a magnet at this point, as they are going to be finding their wreck. And the real thing to watch out for, there's smoke looming ahead. Brent Jones goes down. Drivers are slowing up because of the smoke and that abrasive dash to the outside and running into the 9. So it brings out this yellow. And we are now climbing higher and higher. We are now past what we thought, the admins thought potentially we could see on yellows. We have now doubled. We have now gotten 2 more cautions past our record of 13 at this track. And for those that put in the chat thinking 21 cautions could be the key, well, 21's looking more and more promising.
Yeah. Unfortunate or fortunate, depending on your strategy. Like the 95, who has elected to stay out. He's been in control of this race on the oldest tires. It has not, what do you call it, gone bad for him.
No, it really hasn't gone bad. And Scott Crump has now gone into pit road to use one of his sets of tires. And Kwame Scott, who's leading this race, the belly up racing machine. What's incredible, Kwame is only pitted once here tonight. And that was 112 laps ago. And at this point, you are not thinking about pit stops. Feels confident up front with the clean air. And I don't think the 95, unless he gets passed or gets wrecked, pit road is not an option from here on out.
Exactly. I mean, you've made your bed, now lay in it. But I believe this is a very calculated decision. As we see the O2, is it appealing a tally? I did not know you could do that. Good for you.
I mean, it's a gutsy call to try to appeal that incident, but yeah, go for it, I guess. It's going to be a post-race appeal and see what the decisions are going to be made. I'd imagine wait and look up the social medias for the Elite Racing League, as they'll give more updates on the penalties and appealing it, as that is for Robert Hill Jr. going to be deciding to appeal. Which, I mean, drivers do have clear communication with race admins. They can come over the radio and dispute, and they easily can just queue up, say, hey, I don't like that call. And also they can appeal it after the fact of the races, but obviously it's a rare thing to see here, Alex.
Very rare. What is he appealing to? What tally was he given?
I mean, there's been a couple of incidences he's been involved with. And
I think he was appealing the second.
We'll see how many more are thrown out as we're back to green flag racing. And Kwame Scott gets to see the bickering between the 1 and the 0-1 in his mirrors. But the driver to keep your eyes on in 5th place, it's the 40. Tyler Fody is creeping up. He's now back into the top 5.
Yep, it's taken him forever since he lost that track position with his 1 pit stop earlier. He had led. I believe he still holds. Caution number 16 is out.
And
no, I think he still holds the most laps led. Oh, Wyatt.
This could be an ender for the 84. As Wyatt Canadle gonna find himself being spun around and gets loose, and away he goes.
Turn 4, another one bites the dust.
Oh, now it's saying David Tooker crashed. What happened to him?
As we're gonna
Just
take a
come to
look
a
here,
stop, maybe?
as we're gonna see what happened to David Tooker as that came up on a potential incident, and we're gonna see how he reacted with this wreck, or even under pacing if there was an issue.
Oh,
as it looks like he was having some blinking issues, as well as some other drivers having some blinking issues. Ryan Gavel, that was up instead of our top 4. He is having some extreme internet issues. He has been gone from the racing surface for about a half a lap, almost a full lap now, and it could be signs of our second driver having internet issues, and it's official. Ryan Gavel is out of the server.
Oh, man. That stings, especially being so close. 20 laps to go, man. Your internet just conks out. But hey, I mean, we've seen that. A failure is a failure, whether it be internet or real part failure. It's never ideal.
It really is.
The that sucks for the 01. Ryan had a great car tonight.
He really didn't. It looked like a top 3 finish was highly possible for that of Gavel, and was one of my drivers to watch out for here tonight. He moved up the field incredibly. He qualified 23rd, and now is going to find himself just having to sit and wait and trying to connect back to the server, but he's already 2 laps down. By the time he gets back to the server, it's going to be about 8 laps down, as the drivers all type F for respect, as Ryan Gavel is done.
Ooh, that's going to have a big implication on the run for the charter. Because Gavel was leading in the points in the open class, and now he's going to finish way in the back. And may let Chris Wright, I believe, make a run at that.
Chris Wright has been having a decent run of trying to go up and down this field. It's been a lot of tire strategies on where he's been placed, as he finds himself 8th currently. And he's part of the group of drivers here of Chris Wright, the drivers that came into pit road 30 laps ago that looked like it was going to be our final stops of the evening. And now I'm going to see how well they can move forward. But with Ryan Gavel being bumped out, Alex, that means Tyler Fode is gifted a position, but now he's going to be on the outside on that second row. I don't know if that's really where he wants to be. It seems like that inside lane is where you're going to feel the most confident and going to be making those passes.
Well, the leader has had, on these street starts, has full control. He's been able to decide when to go, and I like the 95. Now, the question behind him, though, that 48 and 40 car are pretty fast on new tires. So we'll see what happens here as we're back under green. 16 to go here at North Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro 200, and Kwame Scott, who's pitted only once. Everyone else has pitted 2 or more times, who is up front for that of the
Caution
95.
again.
And a yellow flag immediately is thrown, and its drivers on the backstretch piling in. As here's our Whiskey Cast replay. Most cautions of the season, I would presume, is this one. As we take a look at that of Bronson Stafford from up above, but Michael Goodman gets loose, comes up, overcorrects potentially. Oh no, Bronson Stafford gives a tap to that 05, then Chapman, and away they go.
Keeler in that 08 car, and yes, that is a hard hit. They were having trouble, though, already entering that corner. Michael Goodman, you saw it there by himself.
And then runs into Capel, trying to get by. Oh, and poor Mark Keeler, he's going to have a required damage after that incident. Bronson Stafford in the 61, I thought he was going to be getting himself a required damage on that one after hitting the guardrails. The guardrails are not forgiving. You see the bump, rear back, and around they go. And that is difficult.
It is, especially if you're a driver, you're just like, what the happened?
And it's, what's interesting about this over the radio, talking about potentially giving tallies to drivers for avoidable incidences, and that's going to be given to the 61. They felt like it was an avoidable wreck that he could have gotten into, and we've seen drivers running into one another and driving through one another, but at the same time, this is short track racing. You're bound to get into the throttle sooner than someone else. Sometimes you don't expect the driver in front of you to still be stalled out when you found that throttle.
I forgot because I haven't been up here in forever, but our ticker did switch over to 13 to go. So who do you like there, Sam, in our closing laps?
Closing laps? I mean, I think I'm going to go with the gutsy call now. I think earlier in the race it wasn't. Now it could be 4th place runner Tyler Fode. He's got some of the freshest tires out there. If we can stay green, I think he's got an opportunity to win here tonight.
Oh, I love the call of one pit stop and you were done. Like, sayonara, boys, I don't need you anymore. This 95 car, I think, comes home with his first win.
He's been looking good for sure, and I gotta say, David, do you have a call on who you think's gonna get this one?
I'm gonna pick Chris Wright because I think he's super motivated right now. I think he can smell that charter, and he's got fresh tires too. I think he's gonna make a run here.
He's gonna be back in 7th place. So our picks, it's gonna be Alex. He thinks our leader currently right now, Kwame Scott's gonna get this thing done. I'm gonna pick Tyler Fode in 4th, and David's gonna be picking 7th place runner of Chris Wright. but it's going to be a 10-lap shootout. Could we get a quick yellow? Will we need overtime? I mean, Alex, anything could still happen, and we could still have another gridlock type of a wreck if these drivers get too aggressive up front.
Yeah, there are plenty of cars on the track for it. Definitely a, what do you call it? It's been a track position. Key race track position has been king all race long. Pace car about to go down on pit road, putting the field back in the hands. Kwame Scott, who gets a good jump. Can he hang on for 10 laps?
Oh, Adams diving it, almost decided, you know what, we're going to move you out of the way now on this restart. He'll have to give it another try. They're going to be 2 by 2 from third all the way back to the end of the line. They're almost thinking about 3 wide on the exit of 4.
Yes, Tyler Bodie doing all that he can on the outside there of Nick Massey, as we have a battle shaping up for the lead. One car thought better of it, and now that 40 is all over the back. 8 laps to go next time by.
Kwame Scott put himself in the best positioning. If you're on the older tires, you're trying to defend his, oh no, it's gonna be the 57, contact, spinning, and there they go in front of the field. Another big one strikes.
Oh my goodness, the 83 you saw had nowhere to go. And we are under caution here for the 18th time.
Drivers.
This probably will set up a green-white checkered, if not 3 to go.
And then the big thing to watch out here is going to be Chris Wright. Gets a fantastic launch after seeing the 2 get loose. Goes 3 wide. And Chris Wright just locks up the rears, slides into the entry of the corner. And for the 2, he had no way of reacting to that.
Exactly. And Chad had nowhere to go. Tate Lytle misses it, but here comes the 83 and Andrew Rucker. Rucker, his shot of trying to get his first top 10, not going to happen tonight.
And
Caution,
drivers.
18th time.
18th time. And with the timing of this yellow, as there's going to be no action called on that. But with the timing of this yellow, Alex, this could be setting us up for an inside the regulation green-white checkered.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. And this man, for Belly Up Racing, Kwame Scott, he has not put a wheel outside of the roof. He has done everything that he needs to do. He has to just hang on for 2 more laps.
I mean, that's going to be still so difficult to think. How do you place yourself in a position to hold off? He's already done it a handful of times, if not more, with the one of Joshua Adams. But now is the decision time. Where do you want to place yourself? The leader has the decision on where you want to go, high, low. Where do you want to restart? And for Kwame Scott, who does he want to assist? Does he want to start in front of Tyler Fode or Adams and allow them to get a great launch behind him?
So, cleaning up our 18th caution of the day, a green-white checker finish. Or, excuse me, it looks like we actually might be going with 3 to go. So,
looking at the lights, seeing if they're going to be flickering or not. I believe that they are off, so, I mean, they are on. So we're going to get at least 1 more, which is going to be putting us into that green-white checker, 2 laps to go marker.
yes.
As eyes on the pace car, waiting to see out of turn number 4 are the drivers. They're already stacked up. They're revving. They're ready to get going. And pace car lights are off. It's 3 to go. Alex, we're not in overtime just yet, but we are going into an unofficial green-white checkered, and the drivers are waiting to see, will we need overtime or will we not? It's Kwame Scott on the oldest tires. He's been on these tires for 135 laps. Drivers behind, Adams, he's on 64 lap old tires. Tyler Fode, 46 old tires. Everyone else, it's scattered on where they're at, but up front, will the 95 get his first win of the season for the rookie? Let's find out. We're back to Green Flag Racing.
Just 2 to go for Kwame Scott. He has to put together 2 laps that are beautiful, and so far he's been able to do exactly just that. The 1 car can't get to his back bumper.
He can't get there, and out of turn number 4, they need the white flag. It's in the air, and we are an official. We only needed 200 laps, and it is time to get rolling. Kwame Scott holds off for now. Joshua Adams gonna have one more opportunity. Can he get to the bumper? He throws it down. He's not close enough on the exit of the corner. Kwame Scott is an Elite Racing League winner for the Cup Series.
An amazing strategy call. To pit only once. Oldest tires won this race.
All the way back to that of 54? Lap 54 was the time he decided to come into pit road. He had to be patient, fought through the traffic. Everyone else decided to pit, and he continued to be gifted position after position. And once he had the lead, it was all Kwame Scott up front for this 95. He's gotten 4th so many times this season. He got 5th as well, but it's going to be on his 4th start here at North Wilkesboro, where he gets his first win. And this is a fantastic push for himself for at least going for a Rookie of the Year award and potentially try to turn this around for his season to try to make a push for the playoffs.
Yeah, and an excellent job for this team, too. Belly Up Racing doing a great job to return back to victory lane.
And this 95 machine gets to burn it down, have some fun. And as he's going to have his fun doing some burnouts, we're going to take a look at the unofficial results of tonight's race, because it got switched up a ton here tonight late. Once that white flag comes out, everything can be switched up.
Yep.
And honestly, there was a lot of changing, but up front, it was all Kwame Scott. Then we're also going to have that of Joshua Adams. Tyler Fody going to be 3rd. Nick Massey 4th. 5th goes to that of Chad Frankenfield. That of Blaze Blankley able to recover for a 6th place finish. That of Zachary Rogers gets that of 7th. Tate Lytle 8th. 9th is going to be that of Robert Hill Jr. 10th will be that of Trey Holmes. And as we look at the rest of the field, a lot of switch up, but honestly, I gotta say, Scott Crump only getting up to 16th place, and as we look at the rest of the field, some drivers deeper, expecting some better runs for themselves, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Michael Goodman, you see in the 21st position. Andrew Rucker, 22nd. Ryan Should in the 4th. Finishing 23rd. Just some guys that just did not have Wilkesboro go their way here tonight.
We had that of 26 drivers finish this race on the lead lap. We have 42 in total. Started this race off. Layman Joyner, only if he didn't get disconnected. How would that of the 03 would have raced here tonight? He was just as fast as Kwame Scott as well as Tyler Fody, but it looks like he will not be able to make it to the end here tonight as the drivers got to have their fun racing, beating and banging all over the place. Well, we've got ourselves the top 3. We're going to start things off with 3rd place finisher, that of Tyler Fody, and get his thoughts on how tonight went for that machine. Tyler, it's Sam and Alex up in the booth. Congratulations on a top 3 finish. How are you feeling after this one?
Pretty good to have survived. Pretty clean, honestly, more than I thought, but just a little disappointed that we came up a couple spots short. We had the best tires there in the end, and we just couldn't run the last 10 laps or so green. I think that's what we needed. Kwame was struggling, and Josh had some newer tires on Kwame, but I was a little bit fresher than Josh, so just too many restarts in the end. But to have the pole and go back a couple times into the field and race my way back up all clean was pretty good, so we'll take it.
I was going to ask you about that there, Tyler, just because tonight was so much a track position night. How hard was it to pass people?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. First off, it's awesome to have you back, Alex. We missed you, so really cool and excited to watch this broadcast back. But yeah, the track position was huge. I mean, we were really not wanting to pit when we did, but we just had to because that's the way the race was going. Super, super hard. Sometimes the top would work. Sometimes it was the bottom. It depended on the guys in front of you, and then just dodging the wrecks. I mean, it was crazy, and I cannot believe I got out of here with no damage.
I mean, it was a crazy race there, Tyler. We still got plenty of racing to go. How are you feeling about the next couple of races that are coming up as we're heading to Gateway and then the full-length last Crown Jewel event at Indianapolis?
Yeah, really looking forward to both of those, actually. I like both of those tracks a lot. Won at both of those tracks before, so they'll be a little different with the next gen, I'm sure, but still the same old, I guess. So hopefully we'll at least be contending for a top 5. That'll be the plan going into that.
Well, Tyler, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to the Lake Norman guys, Ryan Gavel, Chris Wright, Hank Steinmiller. Kind of an up and down night really for everyone, trying to get the strategy right and be on the right side of it. Really unfortunate for Gavel. Internet cut out on him right in the last 20 laps or so. He was running top 5, but the speed is there. We just got to put it all together. So shout out to them. Shout out to Blue Egg Marketing and KMP Graphics for the paint scheme. And shout out to you guys, of course.
That's going to be the 40 machine at Tyler Fody. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish, and good luck heading to Gateway next week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
As we go from 3rd place, we'll head to 2nd place, where we find that of Joshua Adams in that of the 1 machine. Josh, it's Sam and Alex up in the booth. Coming away 2nd, you almost found yourself making the pass, but man, it looked like you were just a couple of feet too far from making the push.
Oh, yeah. First off, I want to say welcome back to Alex. It's nice to have you back up in the booth. And yeah, I had the better tires than Kwame there. But you know, he's one of my best buddies on this thing, so I couldn't do it to him. I'd rather finish 2nd to that guy on his first win than anybody else.
Well, that's good. That the good camaraderie between us. But you did have the freshest tires. Walk us through the final couple of laps there. What more did you need out of the race car?
Really just, we needed more laps. We got to the point where we were running 2 or 3 at a time, and I could make a run at him. But, you can't make a run at, set somebody up and make the pass within a 2-lap span, especially when, even though he was on old tires, he's a pretty good driver himself. So, you need just more than 2 or 3 laps to pass somebody, especially if you try and set them up on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, I got to say, this has been a crazy season watching your luck and how it's fluctuated up and down throughout this season. But we're coming up to the last dash to try to go for the playoffs. How are you feeling personally for these next couple of races that are coming up?
I mean, there's some good tracks. We're kind of done with the short track stuff, the dirt, the road courses, and we're getting back into the bread and butter for everybody, kind of the stuff that everybody likes. So, coming out of a race that could easily be another 30th with a 2nd, I'll definitely take that and, go on to these next 4 and try and stack as many points as I can.
Well, Josh, again, congratulations on 2nd place. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Oh, yeah, just, Kwame again. He ran a heck of a race. You guys put on a good broadcast. I guess there was a little bit of, I don't know, you guys were looking for somebody to produce or something tonight, I heard maybe. So good job getting that done. 21 Savage, that's my first top 5 for him. I've had really good runs, but just couldn't get the finishes. So, just all my teammates.
That is going to be the 1 machine of Joshua Adams coming away with a 2nd place finish here this evening. Congratulations on that, and good luck heading to that of Gateway next week.
Thank you.
As we go from 2nd place, we head to Victory Lane, where we've got the driver. He came in as a rookie and now is a winner of the JoinAPS.com series. It is Kwame Scott. And Kwame, congratulations on the win. How are you feeling after that one?
It's pretty exciting. I mean, I was sweating bullets. It's at the end there on, all those guys behind me on fresher tires. And I was kind of praying there was, we just kept wrecking and those yellows were coming out, because if we had a longer run, like a 5 or 10 lap run, I wouldn't have been able to hold them off. I thought Josh was going to give me the bumper, to be honest, but.
We thought so too. We definitely, it looked like it up in the booth. You tried to get there. But I wanted to ask you there, Kwame, congratulations. This is your first win, and I've not had the chance to talk to you. Walk us through what it's like to get a win here for the JoinAPS.com Cup Series. I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's just, man, when that race ended and the checkered flag across the line, that was just like a huge, just like relief because I was stressed, and I know all the guys behind me were just itching for me, waiting for me to slip up, and yeah, it's awesome. I think Chad said I was the first African American driver to win this series, and yeah,
Hey!
that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that is great. Alex, go on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just it's very rare. I have not been up in the booth very.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you when that strategy made itself known to you. Like, when did you decide? Okay, I'm done coming to pit road. Was it at lap 54? Or did you expect to come in at some point in time again?
I mean, I was gonna come in if we had like a longer run, but honestly, there wasn't any runs that were long enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I need to come in again. I feel like ever since I pitted that first time, like I was just I was just glued to that strategy. That was it. I couldn't. I had to stick to it, and it was a little bit nerve wracking to see Nick and Josh go in. I was like, yeah, like I probably should have pitted with them. But then again, like it's a short track. Track position is key. So at the end of the day, it ended up being the right strategy. I mean, it might not have been the most optimal. I mean, I won the race, so I guess it was optimal. But I definitely was regretting not pitting there for a second. But it played out in our favor at the end. So.
I mean, Kwame, it was certainly an incredible run for us to watch. Honestly, I gotta say, it was certainly the call of the night with you having that track position and having the control on those restarts, but we still got a handful of races left this season. How are you feeling about these upcoming races? We're into Gateway, Indianapolis, and then Phoenix as well.
Okay. I don't really have that much experience at Gateway. I mean, I've only ran a couple of fixed races there. I mean, I don't know. Whatever track it is, I'm just gonna just put my best effort in and just try to get some laps. And then I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, obviously, I feel like I can dish it out with these guys. We just gotta see. I mean, I feel like lately, the cards haven't really been falling for me in these races, and that was like the first race where I had pace and I didn't get wrecked, and there was one wreck there where I don't know how I squeezed through that, but yeah, I mean, if my luck continues and I keep if I can have a good run and not get wrecked, I feel like I should be at least somewhat in contention for these next races. So, but we'll see. At this point, it's really just a matter of if I can keep my car clean, and if I can keep my car clean, I think I can give these boys a run for their money.
Well, we know for sure that you've got the pace, and tonight you proved that the luck was there. Congratulations on the win. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Man, just obviously my team, Belly Up Racing, Johnny Thomas. Then shout out to Nick and Josh there. I'm teammates with them in another league, and yeah, we're all good buddies, and yeah, it was fun racing. Just like my best friends on here for the win, basically. Wouldn't have had it any other way. So that was fun, and definitely had a great time tonight.
That is going to be your winner here tonight in the newest to the history books of the Elite Racing League. The newest winner of here at the North Wilkesboro 200. It's Kwame Scott winning here tonight. Congratulations and good luck heading to Gateway next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
What a night, Alex. It was a crazy one, but man, oh, well, it's awesome to have you back. We always love having you up in the booth, Alex. And two, what a night. What are some of your final thoughts before we call to close?
I just love the fact that we had a first-time winner. I love first-time winners. It doesn't get any more exciting than that. And to have it come down to basically that final 2 laps. It was a 2-lap shootout, but track position was key. We knew that going in, that track position was going to be key. And that strategy call of pitting only once. just what a good job that was to stick to that strategy.
Yeah, he stuck to it. He was seeing those restarts, and it was crazy to hear him say, hey, I just didn't feel like there was enough of a long green flag run for him to feel confident to come into pit road, and it certainly worked out for the best as a new winner. Kwame Scott in the 95 now is going to be on the push. He isn't going to be in the best places when you look at point standings, but I got to say, Alex, it's always good just to get a win that could change the momentum. With 5 more races left in the season, plenty of things could change. But for tonight, thank you so much to everyone that got to watch here for the North Wilkesboro 200 for that of the JoinAPS.com Cup Series for the season of 2022B. And it certainly was great. We now have a new one to the history books. Thank you, Alex, for joining me. It's great to have you back, and we hope to have you for the rest of the season. And for myself, Sam Dyer, for that of David Huckleberry, and everyone else that helps here at the Elite Racing Network, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next race as the JoinAPS.com Cup Series.